Okay, welcome back. So, as I was saying, some of the requirements of the course, we have a major part is the reviews. That's 60 points out of 100. You have an attendance grade, that's 10 points. And the last 30 points of this course are in two other categories. One is the discussion board. And you'll see in the eCampus page or homepage, there's a button where you can click onto the discussion board. And in this case, in a later video of the introduction, you'll hear what the topic is about and the instructions. Oftentimes I'll email you instructions as to what to put on the discussion post. And this is a way for us to communicate as a class and discuss some of the things that are going on, and sometimes I'll have you look at documents or look at a video and then make comments to that. But it's a way for us to try to find some other ways of communication with each other. And there'll be 5 discussion posts this semester, one every few weeks or so, and again I'll give you dates as those approach. And each of those are worth 2 points apiece, and I'm looking for a paragraph answer generally for whatever the topic may be. Pretty simple, and as long as you fulfill that, everyone gets the points. It's easy points for the class. The last part is the final exam essay, and I will email you a topic during final exam week, and there's, again, look at the calendar and you can see the due date for that. And you'll write an essay. It's often a reflective essay about material throughout the course or things that we've discussed, and where I'm looking for you to synthesize some of this information a little bit further. And again, you can look through the syllabus for all the details, but I'm looking for a 2 to 3 page response, single-spaced, 12-point font. And again, I would say if you were to look at my grading of things like this, as long as it shows that you have thought about this material in a deeper sense, then I award good scores. I'm tougher on the reviews than I am on probably the final essay, and I know kind of what your strengths are by that point. Some of you are not, strong writers. I'm not going to penalize you for that. I'm looking for you that you've digested the material in a way. Let me tell you about the reviews, though, in terms of what I'm looking for. So you're going to write a 1 to 2 page review of each of these books. And what I want from a review is a sophisticated response, looking at specific themes or a general approach of the author that you're going to criticize on. And I'm not looking for it was a great book, I really liked it. That's not the kind of review I'm looking for. And if you're not really sure what I'm talking about, you might want to get a copy of, for example, the New York Times Book of Reviews. Shows how a book is reviewed in terms of a historical or a literary sense. Or you can look at the magazine The Atlantic. They always have a little review section, which they're very concise oftentimes, some of them, and some of them are longer. You can see how that works. But generally, if you look at the author's intent and then decide whether or not they met their own requirements, is a great way to approach a review. So if an author said, I'm going to look for the causes of a war, for example, and they kind of talk about that in the first 2 chapters, and then they totally switch to something else in the rest of the book, then you could criticize on that. Say, I agreed or disagreed with their contentions in the first 2 chapters, and then later the book goes awry and you explain why, etc. Now, because this course is having you look at a variety of types of books, be very careful to use the right word usage here. What I mean that if it's a novel, which is fiction, means it's not real, you're talking about it as a novel. The characters in the novel do this or that. The author speaks to the audience by doing such and such. And in the same regards, if you're talking about a memoir where someone's talking about their personal experiences that have happened, you don't want to refer to them as a character, unless you're saying, you know, this person's a real funny character or something like this. Well, you got to be careful. Like, read the back of the book. Well, what is this book? Is it a novel? Is it short stories? Is it fiction? Is it nonfiction? Okay, you need to figure out the genre first before you begin. So be careful with that. And again, because there's some that are historical pieces and some that are literary, you can approach it in many different ways. So when you're looking at the short stories, for example, you may look to general literary devices of the author and how they portrayed certain things, the use of color, the use of light, the use of simile or metaphor, the way the author moved the characters, the way the author manipulated the audience, etc. And again, you see how I'm using the word the author, because remember, the author in a fictional piece is kind of like the puppet master to a story. So they're in control. The characters themselves don't have a life. The author gives them a life. So you don't want to look at it in that kind of sophisticated light. Now, if you're totally lost and you're not really sure what kind of approach you should take, then write to me, and I'll try to help you out with that. But generally, don't go too broad. You know, it's easier to pick at specific themes. Maybe there's a theme of death or something that occurs in many of the stories, and then you explain through evidence from the book how the author used this theme of death, and that's all you wrote about, one and a half pages or whatever, and you discussed the author's use of death in their work. That's fine. You know, that shows a college level approach to a review. And if you're reading something that's more historical, maybe you disagree with their arguments, or you feel their arguments are weak or stronger in certain ways, and that's usually how you handle a historical piece. Anyway, first thing you definitely should need to know is that I'm there to help, so don't feel that you're lost. But you have to get the book done quickly if you need help later. So if you're going to have trouble, you know you're not a great writer, read it fast and get to me with, you know, some ideas or some rough drafts, and I'll be happy to edit them for you and get you on the right track. I have no problem giving A's in this course, and the students who work hard usually get A's. I mean, it's very simple to me. Show me the work, and you know, I'll give you the grade. A little bit about myself and teaching this course. I've lived and worked in Europe off and on for the past 15 years. I lived in Hungary and Estonia, and I've traveled extensively throughout this region, and I've also led some study abroad trips to this region. Last summer through WVU in this program, we led a trip through Hungary and Romania and Serbia, and I have a family background to this region. I speak a little bit of Hungarian, and I've read quite a bit of material and history and literature from this area. So it's something I know very well and I enjoy talking about. And I'm hoping to give you some insights not only to just the history, but to the geography of this region and the challenges of the people of this area. And in the next two intros, parts 3 and 4 to this intro, I'm going to get into some deeper issues of this idea of where we're talking about, where is Central and Eastern Europe, and how we're gonna band that geographically in this course. And you'll see me in a variety of outfits in this class. I'm a working mother, and oftentimes I'm making these videos in my home, and sometimes you hear a baby crying in the background, and that's my toddler. And be patient with what I'm wearing and how I change, and hopefully you'll get used to watching these videos, and I think we're going to have a great semester, and I can't wait to get to know you.